If you were to ask me what are the 3 biggest trend stories for spring summer 2025, I would say well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ciara and I share videos on shopping for the best basics on the high street, how to build a capsule wardrobe, and lots of fun trend videos. So if that sounds good to you, then do subscribe because I would love to have you back for more videos. So in today's video, we are going to be covering all of the biggest fashion trends for spring and summer for 2025. Also, I'm going to be looking at the main kind of aesthetics for the trends as well, because in my research, I have kind of been able to pare them down to a concise list. So I have done all of the homework for you. So if you would like to know what are the biggest trends, colors, fabrics that we're going to be seeing for spring summer this year, then just keep watching. So to kick things off, let's talk about the biggest fabric trend that we are going to be seeing for spring summer. Any guesses as to what fabric is dominating the high street for the next few months? And of course, it is suede. Suede fabrics are everywhere across our handbags, our footwear, in our clothing. And it was definitely a fabric that we saw so much of in autumn winter. Again, suede is kind of a heavier fabric. It's got a nice bit of texture to it. We are seeing it so much for spring summer as well. We're not only seeing suede in those key colors that we saw over the last few months already, things like brown, mocha, neutral colors, but we're also seeing lighter colors of suede as well. Shades like beige, creams, baby blues, pastel colors. We're seeing it all, and really suede is set to go absolutely nowhere. If you have been tempted but you haven't taken the plunge just yet, then I think now is a fantastic time to pick up something in suede. Going for something like an accessory is a really easy way to pick something that you can style with your existing wardrobe. I have an entire video dedicated to some of my favorite suede handbag styles that are available on the high street, but I have a new style that I want to show you today, and I think you are going to absolutely love this because it hits so many different trend boxes in one. The Gabrielle East-West shoulder bag by the brand Parisa Wang. You guys know I'm a huge fan of really great mid-range and kind of mid-luxury bag brands, and Parisa Wang is one of the best examples of this. They do the most amazing quality suede and leather handbags for a fraction of the price of designer labels. They have a really core collection of really simple but classic styles that will take you through the season. So this is a bag that I feel hits so many spring summer trend notes, but it also works so well coming into autumn winter as well. So it's really a bag that you can wear all season round. Parisa Wang have really good quality suede fabrics, and there's another bag that I have from them already that I adore. It is the Grace Soft top handle bag in the suede, and I love this bag. I picked this up a few months ago and have been wearing it non-stop. It is not going anywhere. I know a super popular style that so many of you guys have bought from my videos is the Madison top handle bag. It's a really classic shape, a great size. It comes in 3 different sizes, and that also now comes in a suede fabric as well. This is a more updated style that I wanted to show you because I did mention the East-West shape. If you watched my handbag trends for 2025 video that I published recently, I spoke a lot about East-West handbags. And again, this is a style that we saw so much on the runways from brands like Miu Miu, Prada, brands like Alaya have beautiful East-West styles, but again, they are very expensive. And then that's where a brand like Parisa Wang comes in. Very kindly reactivated my discount code for them. It will only be live for a limited time, and so many of you guys have told me before about using my code to get an extra lovely discount off their pieces, which makes them even better value. Kind of a chocolatey color, but it's a slightly warmer chocolate, which I think is great for the summertime. This would look beautiful with lighter colors, with denims. It's just a really easy shade, and I actually have quite a few bags in this general color palette, and I get so much wear out of them. So you have your main interior chamber here. It actually fits quite a lot, and I believe this fits the smaller size tablet as well, and obviously you're going to fit any sized phone in here. It's got plenty of room. You have an interior little flat pocket here, which is really handy, but you also have 2 separate pockets on either side, and then of course you have the gorgeous long top handle in the very much the East-West style. You also have feet on the bag, which I really appreciate, especially with a suede material handbag. It just helps protect it. So again, if you're someone who's interested in suede as a trend, trend. I do think it is a very, very good one to invest in. It seems to be going absolutely nowhere. So many of my outfits are very classic and very minimal. I have a very core collection of pieces that I rewear all the time. So oftentimes what I love is adding a little pop of something with my accessories. And I think that suede gives such a gorgeous bit of texture to your outfit. So I will leave links to everything in the description below so you can check them out. And as always, don't forget to use my discount code and let me know what you pick up, because I love hearing about your purchases, especially when it's these beautiful bags that I love myself so much. I love seeing you guys loving them and styling them as well. So moving on, we're going to delve into some of the color trends that we're going to be seeing for spring summer 2025. One of the first colors that I'm going to look at is the shade Mocha Mousse. This was classed as Pantone's color of the year for 2025. So we've been seeing this filtering through already into the high street, but what's great about a color like Mocha Mousse is it is the ultimate neutral, very creamy, kind of a lighter brown color, and it is such an easy one to style. It's the perfect shade coming into spring summer, but it's also incredibly easy to wear into autumn as well. In amongst Mocha Mousse, I'm also going to include brown earthy tones as well. Brown was having such a moment in 2024. It really was one of the biggest colors alongside burgundy. It's still absolutely huge for 2025. Even though brown is typically a little bit more of a darker wintry color, we're still seeing it so much in spring summer, and it's also a great way to offset lighter colors. So if you are a neutrals lover like me, pairing brown pieces, let's say a pop of a brown suede handbag with an all cream, an all beige, an all white outfit, sometimes is the perfect contrast as opposed to like a starker black offsetting white. So I think using brown, it's such a clever, easy color. For all of these trends, I will have some dedicated shopping edits that I put together over on my LTK page, and I will link them all in the description below. One of the biggest colors for spring summer 2025 is butter yellow, and we've been seeing this across clothing, accessories, handbags, shoes, even in interiors and homeware as well. And it's a very creamy, warm toned yellow, almost kind of vintage inspired. When it comes to styling butter yellow, it really isn't as difficult as it might seem. I would always say with a bright color, especially if you're not used to styling it, go with more neutrals, pair it with things like creams, beiges, even a little pop of brown works really, really well. I recently picked up a beautiful butter yellow two-piece suit from Cause. I absolutely love it. It's in kind of a almost like linen material, perfect coming into spring summer. So moving on, let's talk about candy pink. And this is another huge color for spring summer. Now, admittedly, I actually don't think I have anything in my wardrobe that is candy pink. It's a color that I think I always tend to shy away from. For me, when I'm kind of dressing more feminine and kind of floaty and whimsical, it tends to be a blue that I go for, but it has to be said that candy pink is huge this spring summer. So however you feel about the color, you know, you're going to be seeing it so much more on the high street. It is an easy color to style. Like this kind of soft pink tends to go with most skin tones and most hair colors. I don't know, is it a color that I will be delving into, but I would love to know in the comments, is candy pink a color that you like to go for? Do you have shades of candy pink in your wardrobe already? I would really, really love to know, because I feel like maybe I should just dive in and pick up something in this shade, even if it's, let's say, an accessory like a neckerchief or a scarf, or something that I can use to add into my outfits, which is really a very easy way to start to tiptoe into a color. So if you're a bit afraid of any of these shades, you can always pick up an accessory and use that to kind of introduce yourself to the color. Next up, another color that I have to admit I don't wear that often, but is huge for spring summer, is chartreuse. And this is a very specific shade of green. It is almost, again, kind of like a vintage style color. And we're seeing this a lot with the colors that we are seeing this spring summer, with things like the butter yellows and the chartreuse and the browns. It gives this kind of nod to the mid-century, the nod to kind of vintage colors. What's great is that these rather muted, slightly earthier tones are easier to style than your neons and your bright shades. It's definitely easier to work them into your wardrobe. And once again, the high street has some really, really good options that you can choose from. When it comes to chartreuse, it can definitely be styled so beautifully, especially when it comes to, I think, occasion wear and evening wear. For day-to-day wear, I think I would more gravitate towards an olive green. Whereas when it comes to chartreuse, I think I would maybe reserve that for an evening look just for myself. But again, I'm someone who doesn't wear a huge amount of color. So again, I'd love to know in the comments where you stand on chartreuse. Is it something that you wear already? Is it a color you never wear? Let me know in the comments where you stand. So the last color we're going to look at for spring summer 2025 is tangerine. And again, this punchy orange color is not quite a neon. We're not going into the full brights, but it is a very zesty color, which I think is so beautiful to style for this time of year. Coming into the high summer, it's just gorgeous. This is a color that I often will wear on holidays, for example, if I'm in the sun. It's a really, really gorgeous color to wear when you think of sunsets and beautiful sunny skies and warm evenings and having a little bit of a tan. It's just such a gorgeous summery color, but we're definitely seeing so much more of it on the high street at the moment. When I think of tangerine, I think of occasion wear. Beautiful color to choose for, let's say, a wedding guest dress. And there are some gorgeous options on the high street already. This is the same with chartreuse. I think it looks gorgeous for full-length dresses for, let's say, a summer wedding or spring wedding. Also for tangerine, I think is beautiful to incorporate in your accessories. So things like, let's say, neckerchiefs, that kind of punchy tangerine, almost airing into like a coral red color palette, I think is beautiful for neckerchiefs, for little pops of details, whether it's a bangle, whether it's earrings, or even incorporating it in, let's say, your lipstick and doing like a bright punchy coral kind of orange color. So now we're going to move on to spring summer fashion trends, but I have grouped these into 3 different categories, starting with elevated boho. Now I touched on this in the new year as being a huge trend for 2025 in general. It's not just for spring summer, we're going to be seeing it in autumn winter as well. It's this revival of boho, which we really didn't see for the last few years. Brands like Chloe really nailed this. The typical Chloe girl being covered in oversized ruffles and belts and tassels and chunky kind of wooden platform wedges. Like, it's very, very cool. Looking at it in a more wearable sense, how is this filtering into the high street? Things like an oversized ruffled blouse. This is a key piece that encapsulates the whole trend, but that you can style in lots of different ways. And other stories I feel like have nailed the oversized kind of maximalist ruffles. My top pick would be to go for an oversized ruffled blouse, and then you can style it with your denim jeans. You can wear it with skirts, you can do maxi skirts, you can do mini skirts with trousers, with shorts. Just style it in so many different ways. Really the best way to do it when it comes to trends, as opposed to buying a whole new wardrobe or just overhauling. I think going for a key piece and trying to work that into what you already have is the way to go. So ruffles is not the only element to this bohemian trend. We're also seeing things like really floaty fabrics, so just kind of looser trapeze style dresses. We're seeing elements of sheer. We're seeing things like oversized chunky belts. This kind of touches on the Western style, which I will get to in a minute, but things like double belts, like belts layered onto each other. It's a lot more kind of rustic. And again, fabrics like suede really, really tie into the boho theme. They also tie into the Western theme. You're going to see throughout this video how so many of these trends really meld into each other, and it's kind of about figuring out what are the key trend stories. So moving on, looking at Western vibes. Again, this is a very large trend that covers so much, but the first thing we have to talk about with the Western trend is denim. Denim in general is always on trend. It's such a timeless classic, but we really are seeing a move more and more into Western denim. So things like double denim, Western shirts, buttoned up to the top, mixing and matching different shades of denim, darker indigo denims. And again, this is something that we saw in the last few seasons, but it's just building momentum. We can see the Western trend across music, pop culture. We can see it across so many different areas and not just fashion. And for me, having just spent some time in Austin, and at the end of this month I'll be going to Nashville and Kentucky, I definitely am having a little bit of a love affair with these kinds of styles. And again, it's all done in a very wearable way. So as opposed to throwing on a costume and being head to toe cowboy, I think there's little nods that you can add here and there. Brands like Cézanne do Western nods really, really well while still remaining really cool and wearable. They are a French brand, but they just always have this slight bohemian, slight Western kind of vein running through their pieces. And they do embroidery, they do cutout details, they do slightly Western shirts so well. We're also seeing things like cow print and snake skin as being 2 really, really big trends this spring summer. I personally love the kind of horsehair cow print and the snakeskin print. I actually prefer it to leopard because they actually are neutral colors, so I find them a lot easier to style with my own wardrobe. And I have a few pieces in like the snake print, especially things like belts and shoes. I think it works super well with what I already have, and it's actually surprisingly easy to style. And then the horsehair cow print is a little bit newer, and we're seeing it across things like handbags, we're seeing it across belts, which I think is a great way to incorporate it as opposed to going like head to toe. Of course, things like cowboy boots and western boots in general, they always have a little bit of a spike in summer, but I definitely think this summer is the era of western details. Then finally, I'm going to talk about vintage nods. And again, this is a little bit different from the first two that I've spoken about. It's a little bit less rustic bohemian western. It's more 80s. It's more maximalist. Things like oversized earrings. They call them door knocker earrings, like the clip-on style, peplum styles, that nipped in waist, the power shoulder. These are all very vintage inspired silhouettes that we would see in, let's say, the 80s with like the power kind of businesswoman aesthetic. We've also seen micro trends come back, like the pillbox hat and kind of structured round hats in general. This is something I touched on in some TikTok videos as a trend that I think is going to be huge this spring summer. And again, it's something that is quite different. We haven't seen it in a while. It's very, very fun, especially for occasion wear. The vintage aesthetic also looks at things like capri trousers. Now, capri trousers were definitely gaining popularity last year, but they are set to go nowhere for this summer. And I have picked up a pair from Abercrombie that I absolutely love. Another element to this is peep toe shoes. I know this isn't for everyone, but it is definitely a trend that is coming back. And I would love to know in the comments where you stand on the peep toe. It's definitely something we're going to be seeing more of. We're already seeing it a lot on the high street, and it's very much in that vintage style. Honestly, when we talk about trends, it is all so cyclical. Everything has its moment, everything comes back around eventually, but we're definitely seeing that vintage nod with our clothing. That is an overview of some of the key color trends that we're going to be seeing for 2025, as well as the main trend kind of aesthetics that we are going to be seeing for spring summer. I would love to know in the comments what you think of these trends. Are there any of them that you love or that you hate? What are you wearing? What are you a bit hesitant about? I would love to know in the comments below. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more trend style videos, then be sure and give me a thumbs up to let me know. And if you have not already, then be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single week, and I would love to have you back for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.